Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're popping the hood on an app you probably use almost every single day, Google Drive. We're going to use these slides to break down exactly how you would design a massive cloud storage service from the ground up.
Okay, so imagine this. You've been asked to build a new mobile app. But here's the twist. This isn't some side project for you and your friends. From day one, it has to be ready to handle this many people. 10 million users every single day.
So how do you even begin to build something that can handle that kind of pressure without just crumbling? Well, today we're going on an architect's journey, using Google Drive as our blueprint. Let's figure out where to start.
You know, every great system starts with a really clear plan. So first things first, we have to define exactly what our app needs to do. This isn't just a wish list either. This is basically the contract that's going to guide every single engineering decision we make from here on out.
All right, so here are our must-haves, our non-negotiables. Of course, we need the basics, right? Uploading, downloading, creating folders, but we also have to tackle some really tricky challenges, like seamlessly syncing files across your phone and your laptop, handling enormous 10 GB uploads, and, this one is crucial, planning for spotty, unreliable mobile networks. All of that while serving 10 million people a day. No pressure.
Okay, now that we know what we're building, let's zoom out and look at how all the pieces are actually going to fit together. This is our 30,000-foot view of the entire system. At the very heart of this system is something called the API. The best way to think about it is like a waiter at a restaurant. Your app, the client, has an order. Say, upload this photo. The API is the waiter that takes that order, carries it to the kitchen, the powerful back-end servers, and makes sure it gets done. It's the universal translator for our whole system.
So our app is basically organized into three distinct layers. You've got the UI layer, that's everything you see and touch. Then there's the data layer, which is like the app's local brain on your phone. It keeps track of everything, even when you're offline. And finally, you have the backend. That's the giant digital warehouse in the cloud where your files actually live. Keeping these layers separate is absolutely key to building a stable system that can actually scale.
All right, let's dive into one of the trickiest problems in mobile design. Uploading big files. I mean, on a perfect Wi-Fi connection, it's a piece of cake. But out in the real world, well, connections drop all the time. Oh man, we've all been there, right? It is so frustrating. You're 95% done uploading that huge video, your train goes into a tunnel, and poof, all that time, all that data, just gone. You have to start from scratch. Well, there's a specific feature designed to solve this exact problem, and it's an absolute must-have for any cloud app.
And the solution, straight from Google's own documentation, is something called a resumable upload. And what's really fascinating here is that they recommend using it not just for those giant video files, but for pretty much everything. It's so reliable that the tiny bit of extra overhead is completely worth it.
So how does this actually work? It's pretty clever. Instead of trying to send the whole file at once, the app breaks it into small, manageable chunks. It sends chunk 1, gets a thumbs up from the server, sends chunk 2, gets another thumbs up, and so on. Now, if your connection drops after, say, chunk 10, no big deal. When you're back online, the app just politely asks the server, hey, where did we leave off? The server says, chunk 10, and the app picks up right at chunk 11. You never have to start over from zero again. Okay, here's another classic problem for cloud storage. What happens when you edit a document on your laptop while it's offline? But at the same time, you also make a different change to the same document on your phone. When your laptop finally reconnects to the internet, which version is the right one?
This right here is a perfect illustration of the different engineering trade-offs companies have to make. On one side, you have Google Drive. They use a full copy upload. If you change just one word in a massive document, the entire file gets uploaded again. It's simple and it's super reliable. On the other hand, you have Dropbox, who pioneered block-level sync. Their system is smart enough to find just the tiny piece of the file that changed and send only that. It's incredibly efficient with your data, but it's way more complex to build.
And when a conflict is finally detected, different services have totally different philosophies. Dropbox goes with last right wins. It just assumes the very latest change is the one you wanted and saves it automatically. It's seamless. Google Drive, however, is a bit more cautious. It actually stops and asks you, the user, what you want to do. Hey, we have two different versions here. Do you want to keep both? There's no right or wrong answer. It's all about what kind of experience you want to give your users.
So, after our deep dive into uploads, conflicts, and architecture, what are the big takeaways here? What are the fundamental rules for designing a huge mobile app like this?
It really all boils down to these core ideas. You start with a rock-solid plan and a clean architecture. But then you have to design defensively. You have to assume the network will fail and have a plan like resumable uploads. You have to assume users will create file conflicts and have a graceful way to sort them out. It's this constant balancing act between keeping things simple and making them efficient, but at the end of the day, every single one of those decisions has to serve the user experience.
And that's the truth about building any major system. You're never really done. Once this amazing foundation is in place, the next set of questions pops right up. What do we build next? File sharing or maybe real-time collaboration? Each of those is a whole new mountain to climb. So the next time you save a file to the cloud, you'll know a little more about the complex dance happening behind the scenes to make it all seem so simple. Thanks for diving into this with me.